You want to start?
Roll. I hereby call the Police Oversight Commission order to meeting on Thursday, December 11th, 2025 at 5:03 p.m. Madam Secretary, please conduct roll call.
Commissioner Garonski? Commissioner Mejia is absent. Commissioner Perea is absent. Commissioner Said?
Here, thank you.
Commissioner Vega?
Present.
Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton is absent. And Chair Carpenter?
Here. Thank you.
Records show we have 4 members present with Commissioner Mejia, Commissioner Perea, and Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton absent.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. If able, will you please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, now it is time for public comments. This is a time for commission to receive comments from the public. We will not accept any additional requests for speaker cards once we begin the public comment session. If you have not already, please submit your request to the recording secretary. Speakers will have 3 minutes to speak. Madam Secretary, do we have any public speakers?
Chair, there are currently no in-person speakers. We do have one individual on Zoom. If they would like to speak, if you could please raise your hand. Manuel? Okay,
Yes.
we have one individual. If you'd like to commence your comments, please.
Okay, thank you. My name is Manuel Arreguin. I spoke at the last meeting, and here we are at the end of the calendar year, and I just didn't want to start up with any other stuff that I had been bringing up in the past. But I would like to know if Commissioner Kowalski had listened to that April, May, and July and November meetings on the YouTube. And if you push the more on there, that's where the transcripts that I was talking about. Nobody really seems to understand really. I mean, I only got 3 minutes, so I just want to close this out and thank everybody for letting me speak at this meeting and carry on because you're doing a great job. That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chair, I have no additional speakers.
All right, thank you. Next is the consent calendar, items number 1 and 2. And I need to make a motion that the minutes from the November, our last meeting, I'm sorry, December 11th, I'm sorry, the last meeting, page 8, November 13th. You have incorrectly, Chair Vega made a final comment that was actually myself. If you look at page 8 or page 12, depending on which version you're looking at, it says Chair Vega stated commission meetings are open to the public for information and comment and do not support posting information online. That was my comment. And Danny Vega is not the chair.
You want me to give a motion on that? A motion to accept them with the correction made? Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Commissioner Garansky, seconded by Commissioner Vega, and that was to approve items 1 and 2 as amended with the update to the minutes of the November 13th meeting. Commissioner Garansky?
Yes.
Commissioner Said?
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Vega?
Yes.
Chair Carpenter?
Yes.
That vote is 4 ayes, 0 nays, with Commissioners Perea, Mejia, and Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton absent.
All righty, next on the agenda is the business calendar. Item number 3 pertains to Santa Ana Police Department Procedure 4130, U visa certification procedures. May we have a staff report?
Good evening, Commissioners. We are bringing the item back to you for the U visa. Wait, is that, are we on U visa? The U visa policy. This is one that we have brought to you on 3 other occasions. We've taken a look at all of the comments that were provided at the meetings, and Oversight Director has prepared a draft recommendation policy for you to review, and he has a presentation on that. I'll defer to him.
Okay, real quick before we start, we'll have 2 rounds of 10 minutes each, and a request for the first 10 minutes that everyone, including myself, restrict it to questions and allow that second 10 minutes for comments or what have you. Thank you.
We have the slideshow. Do we have a slideshow?
Can we have the front monitor turned on so we can follow along easier, please? Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do too. Okay, Commissioners, good evening. I'm happy to be here again. As you know, I'm Jack. I'm the Police Oversight Director. I like to stand up to give these presentations so that I can also see the slide deck without having to twist awkwardly in my chair. So here I am. As Sylvia mentioned, I did want to give you an update on where we are with the revisions to Policy 4130, which regards the U visa process for the Santa Ana Police Department. So how do I forward? Do I just tell you when I want to, or do I have a clicker? Oh, there you go, okay. All right. So brief background as to how we got here tonight, meaning where we are in this U visa process. So as you may recall, back in July during the POC meeting, there was a presentation by the Immigration and Deportation Defense Clinic at Western State College of Law and the Public Law Center. And those individuals, based on their expertise in working in the field of U visa applications and processes, offered some recommendations to better ensure that SAPD Policy 4130 reflected best practices and offered sufficient guidance to its officers who are dealing with the U visa process. Next. And then again at the August 14th, 2025 POC meeting, there was another presentation by the OC Rapid Response Network and the Orange County Justice Fund. And those individuals, also based on their expertise, offered recommendations regarding how we could improve SAPD Policy 4130 regarding the U visa process. At that meeting, I had also provided to the commission a red line draft of the U visa policy. That draft that I provided at the time was based on the comments we had received earlier from the Public Law Center, as well as feedback from you, the commission. At that meeting, I also received additional comments from you, the commissioners. And so moving forward for a future draft, I incorporated those comments as well as the input from the OC Rapid Response Network and the Orange County Justice Fund. So you each received a copy of the most current version in your packet, just to highlight further about what that version includes. So as I mentioned, it includes input from stakeholder presentations, that's the Public Law Center, et cetera, your comments from prior meetings, and it also, I sought to better reflect state and federal law and regulations. So drew information from the California Penal Code, as well as the Federal Code, the Federal Code of Federal Regulations. I also referenced the USCIS resource guide, which is specifically drafted for law enforcement agencies who are implementing the U visa application process. And I received input from SAPD regarding their own internal processes. So you have a draft before you tonight. I think the only thing remaining to do is provide a little more clarity regarding the distinct roles of the CID supervisor and CID detective. So I think that's really the only thing left to do before this draft is complete. So just to go over some of the input from the Santa Ana Police Department, they added information such as SAPD intends to comply with federal regulations of the U visa program. A certifying official shall consult the USCIS resource guide as a superseding guideline for these procedures. It clarifies that the CID supervisor, not the sergeant specifically, will review the U visa applications. And it also added this language: in determining whether a request for assistance is reasonable or whether a victim's refusal was unreasonable, the CID supervisor will consider the totality of the circumstances, quote, consistent with SAPD's victim-centered, trauma-informed approach to investigations. I am very much in favor of a victim-centered, trauma-informed approach to investigations across the board. So I was happy to see SAPD add that language specific to the U visa application process. Other additions in this draft that you have before you, it defines investigation and prosecution based on the penal code. It includes information not only about direct victims, but also indirect victims and bystanders. It defines who they are and how those applications should be assessed. It limits forwarding cases to the DA's office to applications where SAPD does not have sufficient information to make that determination on their own. And then it clarifies that CID should presume the victim has been, or will be helpful. And of course, as we've discussed, this is a rebuttable presumption if the victim fails to provide information that was reasonably requested. Additions, if you will. It includes a lot of factors that the CID supervisor or detective making these assessments should consider when looking at an applicant. So it includes factors to consider when determining whether a victim has been, is being, or will be helpful. Factors to consider when determining whether a request for assistance from the victim is reasonable. Factors to consider when determining whether a victim's refusal was unreasonable. It also includes factors that should not be considered when deciding whether a victim has been, is being, or is likely to be helpful. It includes a list of examples of when a victim has been helpful, and it includes reasons not to refuse to certify an application. For example, when making the determination as to whether or not an application should be considered, the decision maker should not consider the victim's criminal history or the victim's immigration status, just as two examples. I really like the inclusion of factors to consider. I think that in general, that helps make policies more useful. As we've discussed, and as you know, police officers have discretion, but that discretion is best exercised when it is guided by comprehensive policies. So in SAPD's Policy 300 on the use of force, for example, that policy includes factors that officers should consider when determining whether or not a use of force is reasonable. So I've taken a similar approach here with the U visa process and added lists of factors to help decision makers make decisions when reviewing an application for U visa status. The updated policy also includes more detailed procedures. So it states that if SAPD does not certify an application, CID will provide a written explanation to the applicant. And that written application should provide clarity. It should address why the application was denied, why, for example, the victim was not considered helpful, how the victim refused to cooperate with a reasonable request, and why the refusal was unreasonable. If the request is denied, the policy also establishes a procedure whereby a victim or the victim's representative may appeal to SAPD. Once that appeal is received, which is basically a renewed application, then a different CID supervisor who did not assess the first application will handle that appeal and re-review that U visa application. The policy also includes information regarding annual reporting and training. So the policy already required an annual report to the California legislature regarding how many U visa applications the police department received, how many were approved, how many were denied, and how many were forwarded to the OCDA. The revised policy states that those reports will also be provided to you, the commission, and will be made publicly available by being posted on the SAPD website. SAPD personnel are also, the policy also clarifies that SAPD personnel assigned to evaluate applications will receive specific training on the policy, applicable state law and federal regulations, and the USCIS resource guide for law enforcement agencies. So next steps in terms of where we go from here tonight. You will vote on whether to approve the revised U visa policy. If you do approve the policy, then it goes to the city manager for an internal review with the police department, the police department's legal advisor, and they will meet and confer with.
Excuse me, Jack. Excuse me. Let the record show that Commissioner Pereira arrived at today at 5:22, please. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. So next steps, if you approve the policy tonight, it'll go to the city manager, and then the city manager's office will consult with the police department, their legal advisor, and the POA as needed. The city manager's the city manager has 30 days to respond to the police commission. That may be extended by another 30 days, so obviously 60 total, up to 60 days. If the police commission is dissatisfied with the response that you get from the city manager's office, then you may submit the policy to the city council. I will take any questions you may have from my chair.
Okay, we'll start Commissioner Goronsky. 10 minutes. I can come back to you if you like. We can start on the other end if it's more convenient. Would you rather I start at the other side?
I don't care. What do you want?
Do you need more time?
To do what?
You said you needed time to write your question?
No, I said I'm sitting here writing something to my partner.
Okay.
It's a stupid question, I know, but what do the initial CID stand for?
The Criminal Investigation Division.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I want.
And that's the SAPD entity that reviews the U visa applications.
Criminal investigation. Okay, all right, thank you. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you. Right, Mr. President.
Commissioner Vega. Questions?
Thank you, Director, and to staff for this much improved U visa policy document. It is very concise and helpful. Is it my understanding that the outcome of the investigation does not matter when it comes to the U visa? Let's say, for example, somebody witnesses somebody shooting and killing somebody, and it turns out that it was in self-defense, so it wasn't manslaughter or murder. Does that affect the U visa qualification?
No, and that's one of the factors to be considered when determining one's U visa status. Whether the case is prosecuted is not a determinative factor regarding whether or not the U visa process will be or application will be approved.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. No, and I have no other questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Sayan.
I have a couple of questions. First of all, thank you so much for putting this together. I think it did a great job combining a lot of different opinions in the room, so thank you for doing that. In page 5, it says, a certifying official shall consult with the USCIS resource guide as a superseding guideline to these procedures. I'm not sure what that means. Like, what is it telling us?
Oh, sure. So so USCIS, which is the larger governmental organization under which DHS falls, has produced a comprehensive resource guide for law enforcement agencies. It's rather lengthy. SAPD personnel charged with assessing U visa applications will be trained based on, among other things, that resource guide, applicable state and federal law, and so forth. So that resource guide is to be a document that provides ongoing guidance to the reviewer. So the reviewer should be looking to the policy. The policy can't include everything from the resource guide, for example, but officers or detectives, CID personnel will be trained on what that resource guide provides in terms of guidance, so that will also shape the decision-making process.
Okay. I'm comfortable with that. Maybe it just needs to be rephrased a little bit so it's clear as to representing what you're saying, which I like. The other comment I had on this page was consistent with SAPD's victim-centered trauma-informed approach to investigations. If we say that, can that be within the same policy? Like, can it be easy to see what that is? Because I don't know where to find the victim-centered trauma-informed approach.
So a victim-centered trauma-informed approach to conducting investigations is just, it's a best practice.
Okay.
I don't know that SAPD or any department has a policy just on that approach.
Okay.
But it's a preferred method of interviewing victims who have suffered traumatic experiences.
I see.
So that you reduce the risk of perhaps re-traumatizing them.
Got it. Thank you. I like the limitation of forwarding the cases to the DA's office and giving us more of decision-making power. I like the appeal process. I think we talked about that and you did a nice job incorporating it. There's one other thing. I like the annual report. I'm missing one thought. It's gone from my mind, so that's it. Thank you so much.
And Commissioner, if I can go back to your prior comment on the resource guide as a superseding guideline, I think in instances where the policy is unclear or silent, a decision maker can look to the resource guide for greater clarity.
Commissioner Pereira, questions?
And one question, but mostly comments. Thank you, Director Morris. I really appreciate bringing back to the commission these revisions. It incorporates a lot of the critical feedback that we receive from community stakeholders, specifically around being more specific and providing some more guidance around what is being considered reasonable and not reasonable when a victim is cooperating. I think that is important. I echoed the comments from Commissioner Said around limiting the number of instances this is sent or passed over essentially to the district attorney, as well as the trying to stick to the guidelines and having those being superseded. I think sticking as closer as possible to what USCIS is essentially indicating, it's very important, so that we don't add unnecessary red tape for folks that are applying for this. So I'm very pleased. Looking forward to see how this policy, the implementation will look like in a year from now. Looking forward to the report and see if we have made an important impact on the cases that are not only being approved but also that essentially being retained within the department. I do have one question that you might have mentioned, and apologies for being late. So if the city manager response is, this is great, we're going to adopt it. Is this going to be an administrative policy change, or would it be codified into the ordinance?
If the city manager chooses to move forward with it, it would be through the process that PD has for implementing their current procedures, which means it would go through, again, the city manager would have it go through PD for review, through legal for review, and with the Police Officers Association for meet and confirm as is required for all policies.
So it will be like an administrative change, essentially.
It would be, yes.
So that is great. One of my recommendations for my colleagues in the dais is when it comes to administrative change, things can change with the next chief of police, with the next city council, the next city manager. So if we do get some good agreement between the city manager's office and the Police Oversight Commission, I will recommend we actually send this over to the council to be adopted as an actual ordinance policy change, so it's more permanent versus an administrative change. But that will be just my recommendation, concern. But other than that, I'm very pleased with this updated policy. Thank you.
Okay, second round. Commissioner Goransky? No, nothing? Commissioner Vega?
This would go to the city council for approval, right?
No. So the way the process works for the Police Oversight Commission is that you can recommend policy to the city manager. The city manager then reviews the recommendation. So today, if you approve what's in front of you, this will go to the city manager for review. He'll have his own internal review process, and he will provide you with a response within 30 days, whether it's accepted in part, or whether it's still going through review. As Police Oversight Director Morse mentioned, it's 30 days plus an additional 30 days. If you are unsatisfied with the response, then you can send it to the city council for review.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I skipped myself last time. I do have a couple of comments, actually. If you look at page 32, under procedures, number 2, last paragraph, it says, in such cases, the CID supervisor will the victim to apply with the district attorney's office and will provide the applicant with a letter that includes the DA's application instructions. It's not really clear. It's page 32 on our document here under procedures. 4130.5, paragraph 2, numeral 2, second or last paragraph to that.
Sorry, Chair. So I'm there in section 4130.5. Which paragraph are you in?
It's under procedures. It's on page 32 of our document in front of us, our handout.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the red line, which confuses me, but.
This is the red line, yes.
Okay, in which language?
It says, in such cases, the CID supervisor will, and then it continues on, the victim to apply with the district attorney's office and will provide the applicant with a letter that includes the DA's applicant's instructions. It doesn't make sense. In such cases, the CID supervisor will what? It's missing. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I didn't see that one hidden in there. That's why you're a cop and I'm not. Thank you for that. No, that makes sense. It was just kind of lost in there. I didn't see that. My apologies. And I do have one question. A person becomes unhelpful during the U visa process. Is the U visa revoked? I know this was probably discussed, but I just don't recall. Is the U visa revoked? And if it is the person referred to any other law enforcement agency?
Sorry, ask that one more time, Chair.
You're in the U visa process, and for whatever reason you're unhelpful, or whatever the circumstances is, and is the U visa then revoked, or is it terminated? What would be the terminology that you use?
If a victim is no longer being helpful,
They're determined to be unhelpful. So you revoke the U visa? Does it terminate? What happens?
Are you saying it has been approved, but then they
Correct.
cease to be helpful?
Correct.
It's my recollection that the chief or designee would then inform USCIS of the victim's decision to no longer be helpful. That's my recollection.
And that's where it ends. It doesn't go to anybody else. It just disappears. Oh, perfect. Thank you. And I had brought up before about a time limit for the SAPD to file. But there's nothing in here that says if they don't, what happens or anything along those lines.
Well, there's a time frame and
Correct.
deadlines by which
There's a critical time frame, in fact, correct?
right.
Okay, now, there's the scenarios where that didn't happen or might not happen. So what is the police department's obligation to make sure that happens? And if they don't, what's the ramification?
Well,
We can have Deputy Chief Roland Andrade answer that question.
Thank you.
So any policy that exists from the police department, if violated, is subject to some type of review and/or potential discipline up to and including termination. So the range of that is just huge, and it really would depend on the offense, the nature of the violation, how it occurred, and a variety of factors. In this one, where we're dealing with timelines and what have you, was this simple oversight, or was this malicious? I mean, all that type of stuff would factor in. But needless to say, in a very general sense, if a policy is violated, there's always a potential for some type of discipline.
I appreciate that, but unfortunately, the person in the process kind of gets the short end of the stick on that. You appreciate what I'm saying? If the time limit isn't met, what happens to them?
So I do appreciate what you're saying, and it's just like any other policy. We would expect our people to adhere to the policy. That's why it's there. And if they don't, then of course we're going to have to deal with whatever comes from that. And if that, for whatever reason, there is some type of way we can remedy that, even though maybe we went over the 30-day guidelines or what have you, then of course that's something we'll have to.
All right, thank you. That's it for me. Commissioner Said?
Nothing, thank you.
Commissioner Pereira?
No additional questions.
Thank you. Well, I believe that concludes that piece of the calendar.
Do we need to make a motion to approve the document?
I second.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
To approve the changes?
As it stands right
As it
now,
stands.
the red line. Yes, correct. Sorry about that.
Put that thing on. I'll make a motion to approve them as they stand in red. Pardon me? Oh, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I second it.
It's already been seconded by Commissioner Pereira.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
How did I miss that?
I missed it, so there you go.
Use me.
Okay, so I have a motion by Commissioner Vega, seconded by Commissioner Perea, and that was to approve the recommended action for item number 3 of the business calendar. So Commissioner Garonski? Commissioner Perea?
Yes.
Commissioner Said?
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Vega?
Yes.
Chair Carpenter?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion carries.
I believe we're supposed to have a staff presentation on AB 847, is that correct? Okay, are we ready?
Police Oversight Director Jack Morse will provide the presentation.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. It's nice to be up here once again. That first presentation was a hard act to follow, but I'll do my best. So I want to update the Commission on AB 847, which is a an assembly bill that Governor Newsom recently signed into law, how that impacts your work as commissioners, and what that means for the complaint process, the commission's complaint process moving forward. So Assembly Bill 847 was authored by Assemblymember Dr. Sharp Collins of the 79th District in San Diego. Fun fact, her predecessor, Dr. Shirley Weber, authored AB 392, which modified PC 835A, which requires that any use of lethal force in California be assessed via a necessary standard as opposed to a reasonable standard. In terms of AB 847, Governor Newsom signed it into law on October 6th, and it becomes effective on January 1st, which is just 3 weeks from now. So this Assembly bill amends Government Code Section 25303.7, which authorizes county governments to establish county sheriff oversight boards. And it also amends Penal Code 832.7, which governs police officer personnel records and what information can and cannot be revealed publicly due to a Public Records Act request. As you may recall, the ordinance that establishes the Police Oversight Commission and provides a framework for the complaints that the commission can review is based largely on Penal Code 832.7. So the goal in AB 847 was to clarify and expand access to confidential peace officer personnel records for civilian oversight bodies such as this one, and help eliminate some lack of clarity that has existed up until now. It does not make police officer personnel records public, so it doesn't affect what may be released according to a Public Records Act request. It just affects what you as commissioners may access in terms of an officer's personnel record. Those records are still confidential, so even though you may have access to such records, you can't divulge that information publicly. So more brief background about AB 847. So as I mentioned, PC 832.7 governs which elements of an officer's personnel record can be released publicly. Those are things like officer-involved shootings, excessive use of force, complaints of discrimination and dishonesty when there is a sustained finding, things like that. So the Penal Code specifically exempted grand juries, district attorneys, the attorney general, and the Commission on the Peace Officer Standards and Training from those restrictions. So if you're in a DA's office and you're investigating an officer or engaged in overseeing or reviewing an officer's actions, you weren't restricted by PC 832.7, you were exempt. Such an exemption did not exist for police oversight commissions, such as this one, and that created some complications at times in accessing police officer personnel records. So in the past, police commissions, even if they were given subpoena power, they may submit a subpoena to access an officer's personnel records. The police agency may say no. This sort of came to the foreground in LA County. In LA County, the Sheriff's Oversight Commission submitted a subpoena to receive documents from the Sheriff's Department regarding, I believe it was three different officers, 3 different deputies, regarding 3 different incidents. And the Sheriff's Department said, no, we're going to ignore this subpoena. We're not going to comply, because the Sheriff's Department argued that under PC 832.7, we are not allowed to give you these documents because there's no carve out for you, the Sheriff's Oversight Commission, because you're not a part of the AG's office, district attorney's office, et cetera. So the Oversight Commission filed a lawsuit, and that litigation is still ongoing, unresolved. AB 847 should resolve that issue and issues like it, because it makes clear now that police oversight commissions can access those personnel records. It does dictate that police commissions review those records in closed session. And as I said earlier, those records do remain confidential, so they can't be disclosed publicly. So in terms of scope of PC, of AB 847, it involves, so unlike PC 832.7, which limited access or public access to just certain categories, AB 847 entails an officer's personnel records in their entirety. So there's no limitation as to whether or not finding has been made regarding sustained or not sustained. It's comprehensive of the entire record. So again, confidentiality, oversight commissions such as yourself must maintain confidentiality. Those records do remain non-public. That's why they are to be discussed in closed session. And the Assembly Bill clarifies that civilian oversight commissions stand on similar footing to DA's offices, the Attorney General, post, and so forth. So the specific change that AB 847 makes is as follows. So this is the exact language with some omissions from PC 832.7, but it says, except as provided in subdivision B, the personnel records of peace officers and custodial officers and records maintained by a state or local agency are confidential. This section does not apply to investigations or proceedings concerning the conduct of peace officers conducted by a grand jury, a district attorney's office, the AG's office, or post. So that's that carve out for those four entities. Now, oversight commissions are included in that carve out. So it goes on to say, or a civilian oversight board or commission for a law enforcement agency established pursuant to section 25303, which deals with sheriff oversight commissions, or other duly enacted municipal or county ordinance. So this police oversight commission is established by a municipal ordinance. So this commission is included in that carve out. So as you know, under the current ordinance that establishes this commission, the POC is authorized to review specific complaints. Those are officer-involved shootings resulting in death, in custody deaths, uses of force that result in great bodily injury, prejudice or discrimination, dishonesty, sexual assault, unlawful arrest, unlawful search, unreasonable or excessive force, failure to intervene when another law enforcement officer uses excessive force, and interference with a member of the community's exercise of their First Amendment rights. So most of these are taken from 832.7, which has now been modified under AB 847. So in terms of the complaint process applicable to the Oversight Commission, upon receipt of a complaint, I, as the Police Oversight Director, will forward complaints making allegations under 2665B to you as commissioners. So again, 2665B is that list of complaints that you are authorized to review. So officer-involved shootings, excessive use of force, dishonesty, et cetera. That's 2665B. So I'll receive the complaint. I'll ascertain which of those fall within that category. Those that fall within that category, I will forward to you as commissioners. A closed session meeting will then be scheduled so that you as the commissioner can discuss whatever complaint has been filed that falls within those parameters. Now, under the city ordinance, 10 days notice must be provided to the officer in question, that officer's legal counsel, and the complainant. So I'll handle that on my end in coordinating with the city manager's office, but I'll provide that notice. They'll have that 10 days prior to the closed session meeting, and then you'll meet. At that meeting, you as the commissioner may direct me to investigate a complaint further, or you may decide to take no further action. So where we are today in terms of all the complaints that have been filed with the Police Oversight Commission in 2025. As of today, the Police Oversight Commission has received a total of 33 complaints. Only 22 of those deal with the Santa Ana Police Department. 10 of those deal with other agencies, such as Orange County Sheriff's Department, Tustin Police Department, etc. One complaint is completely unclear, at least to me, which agency it deals with, because an agency is not named, an officer is not named, an address is not given. So that falls in the unclear column. Of the 22 complaints that clearly seem to clearly indicate SAPD, 8 involve allegations that qualify for your review under 2665B, that list of complaints that you are authorized to review. 14 of the complaints are unrelated to what you're authorized to review. There were a lot of complaints alleging rudeness or discourteous behavior, waste in general of the police department, insufficient service. I wanted this person to be arrested, they weren't arrested, or an officer's failure to identify themselves to a community member. So, of the complaints that fall within the city ordinance parameters, 1 alleged discrimination, 1 alleged dishonesty. There were 3 excessive force complaints, 1 lethal force complaint, 1 complaint of sexual assault, and 2 complaints of unlawful search. Now, this adds up to 9, even though there were 8 complaints. 1 complainant alleged both discrimination and unlawful search. So next steps in terms of complaints filed to date with the POC. So we'll schedule a closed session meeting for January 8th to discuss those 8 complaints that have been filed thus far that fall within your parameters. Notices will be sent out by December 9th. That's not right. I think that should be 29th. Yeah, typo there. But anyway, I'll handle that. And then once AB 847 kicks into effect on January 1st, after that is in full force and effect, I'll forward you those 8 complaints. You'll be receiving city email addresses. They already have them? Okay, you already have city email addresses, so I'll be forwarding those complaints to your city email addresses. And then all of you as commissioners can discuss the 8 complaints at the closed session meeting on January 8th and can provide further direction to me at that time. And again, I'll take questions from my chair.
Thank you. We'll start with Commissioner Goronski.
I have a question. Back here, you mentioned about the 2025 complaints, 22 from the Santa Ana PD, 10 from the other agencies. You mentioned the Sheriff's Department and 1 unclear. Is that just to let us know what's available or what is happening? Because why would we have anything to do with the Sheriff's Department or city?
Right, you don't. It's just an FYI. 22. We get complaints, even though you're the Santa Ana Police Oversight Commission. You get complaints about the Sheriff's Department. I saw one today about Tustin PD. So obviously, those, you don't have the authority to direct me to investigate. That's just for your information. You're getting all kind of complaints, including complaints about other agencies.
That's what I don't quite understand. How can we, aren't we just affiliated just with the Santa Ana PD?
Yes.
How would they have our number or whatever to
It's publicly
throw it
available.
on to us? Excuse me?
So the answer to that is we do have a publicly available way of reporting to the Santa Ana Police Commission. It is online, so it's accessible to anybody, anywhere in the world, which means that if somebody looks up police oversight, the Google search might turn you up, and if that happens, they might just fill it out, not with the full understanding that it's the Santa Ana
Okay.
Police Oversight Commission, which is in the website, but sometimes we do get complaints that are not applicable to us, and I think it's just Jack's intent to ensure that you're all aware that we do get complaints. Some of them apply, some do not.
Okay, thank you. You had me wondering, am I going to be busier than I thought? Go ahead, thank you.
Commissioner Vega.
Thank you for that presentation. So we will no longer, will we be receiving the complaints in person or via email?
Via email.
Okay. And so is it my understanding that these complaints will no longer go through the city manager and Santa Ana PD? We will just automatically get them?
You won't automatically get them. All complaints are still forwarded to IA. And you will only be you as commissioners will only be getting those complaints that you're authorized to review under section 2665B. So I'll conduct an initial assessment of all the complaints, and then I'll forward it to you those alleging dishonesty, discrimination, excessive force, things like that, those that you're authorized to analyze.
On the technical side, just to clarify, those complaints will go to Police Oversight Commission Jack Morse as soon as they are submitted through the online system. He will receive them. I do get a copy of them, and also our Internal Affairs Department.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Said.
Does body-worn camera from the police officer fall within what we're able to review?
So if I'm conducting an investigation of alleged misconduct, I will request any applicable body-worn camera footage and review that as part of my investigation.
Are we able to see it or just you?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, what was the question?
Are we, as the commissioners, able to review the BWC regarding a specific complaint or just our director?
I'm going to defer to Jack. I have an opinion on how I interpret the ordinance, but I'll defer to Jack.
The consensus is that yes. For complaints that fall within your authority, you would be able to review that BWC footage in closed session, and that may help you decide or determine whether or not you want to move forward and direct me to further investigate.
I assume that's so because if IA, for example, gets a complaint and then an investigation is conducted, part of the file would consist of body-worn camera, correct?
Sorry, ask that one more time.
Yeah, sorry. So if a complaint comes in, IA opens up an investigation in response to the complaint. So that's step one. In order to investigate, you would have to look at the body-worn camera, so that would become part of the personnel file of the police officer, correct?
Are you asking if the BWC footage is part of the officer's personnel file?
Yes.
If there's an investigation,
Yeah, right.
and I'll let the IA commander weigh in here, but it's my understanding that routine body-worn camera footage is not associated with the personnel file, but if there's an investigation into that officer, then any relevant body-worn camera footage would become part of that investigation and thus part of the personnel file.
That's correct.
One more question. So let's say we're reviewing confidential information, and then we come to an opinion or conclusion or thought, whatever the phrase is. How is a decision made without relaying confidential information? So for example, we come to the conclusion that there was no excessive use of force based on X, Y, and Z.
Maybe I'm not understanding your question, but so the commission can decide not to direct me to investigate a complaint because based on face value of the body-worn camera footage, there doesn't seem to appear to be a violation of policy. But you're not really making a finding there. There's not an investigation. You're just deciding not to investigate based on the face value of available evidence.
Okay, that's how we would phrase it then, to not expose like the content. So for example, if a video hypothetically shows there wasn't even touching involved, and so we look at it and we're like, okay, well, I think the complaint's a bit off because the footage shows no touching. And then we say, we don't want you to investigate anymore because we're convinced as commissioners there's nothing there. You would then, like, how would we report that in open session? We wouldn't.
I don't think you need to report that in
I
open
see,
session.
okay.
So you will be receiving information on the complaints for closed session early in January. You will see all the complaints that come through. The purpose of closed session is for all of you to discuss all of those complaints and determine if you would like Police Oversight Director Jack Morse to review those in more detail or to investigate. That's where you make those determinations.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask another question. I'm so sorry.
Well,
So-
you've got 8 more minutes.
For once, the spotlight's on me. Okay, so when we're getting the complaints next month, and we go into closed session to discuss it, all we have is the complaints to first look at, and then we tell you, yes, investigate, no, don't.
Correct.
But just on the basis of the 4 corners of the paper which contains the complaint.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Yes, initially,
Yeah,
yes, that
initially.
is the first step. You look at the complaint.
So I think what the commission could do, if you're unsure about whether you want to direct an investigation, I think perhaps you could request the body-worn camera footage for certain complaints to then be reviewed in the next closed session meeting. So you still haven't made a decision. You're just punting until the next closed session meeting after you have more information.
So we would tell you this complaint may call for more investigation. Can you get X, Y, Z? You would get X, Y, Z. It would be agendized on a closed session for the next month. Then we would get to review it. And then would it be like a 4 out of 7 decision to instruct you? Okay, I understand.
That's my understanding.
That's correct.
And just as a reminder, IA is also investigating all complaints. So if you do direct me to investigate, just know that IA will be conducting a parallel investigation.
Okay, that wouldn't impact us if we're just seeking like body-worn camera and like physical evidence. It would only impact us if we wanted, I guess, you to sit in on an interview with a police officer or something. I guess I'm not understanding why the parallel investigation is important to our decision.
It's just FYI.
Okay. Go ahead, sorry.
And just really important to note too, if one of those complaints is something that you would like to look into in closed session, and that complaint you request that maybe body-worn camera is reviewed at the following meeting. That's something that could be brought. Now, depending on that footage, it could be that we also need to notify additional officers. So we would also ensure that there is that notification of any officer that's involved with anything that is related to that complaint.
Got it. With that, I don't have more questions. Thank you.
I do.
Commissioner Pereira.
Thank you, Chair Carpenter. My only question, and thank you for the presentation, Director Morse. I'm glad that we have a turn off my own mic. I'm glad that we have the clarification from the state in terms of the records that we're able to access. I know that that was one of the issues that was raised by City Council when they were looking or still considering to amend the ordinance. My only question that I have is actually, so we have, as the Police Oversight Commission, we have been receiving complaints since, I believe, 2024, late 2023. Can we get a report on those as well?
Yes. As you're aware, there's a 1-year window within which an investigation must be conducted and discipline noticed to the officer. So any complaint filed in 2023, for example, there's nothing that the commission could do with those. Mm-hmm. If the commission wants a report on what's been filed prior to 2025, that information can be provided. For tonight's session, I just provided information from 2025 because we're already coming up on that 1-year limitation for complaints filed in January of this year.
Okay, that will be very helpful. Even if we are not able to, which is very unfortunate, because if we have received complaints in 24 and 2023, I think that that is, not happy about that. But at least so that we get to see, the data around the types of complaints, that were received, the default. I think it just will be good for just the commission to have, that type of data.
Commissioner Pereira, for your benefit, the benefit of the commission and any community members that may be listening, any complaints that were filed during that window that didn't necessarily meet or weren't addressed via this commission were still reviewed and, if necessary, investigated by the Santa Ana Police Department Internal Affairs. So it wasn't as if those complaints went unchecked or unaddressed.
Thank you. And perhaps that maybe that raises the question that once we get the data of the complaints for the commission's purpose, if and when those investigations are done by AI, Director Morse, we can get a report or of the conclusions by AI to the commission in relation to whatever complaints fall under the commission purview, just so that we are able to see what were the conclusion of those.
You're asking for the IA outcomes of complaints filed prior to 2025?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a directive that the commission would need to vote on. Mm-hmm. As to whether or not the commission wants to direct me to essentially conduct an audit of complaints filed prior to 2025 and accumulate that information.
Okay. Is that something I'm able to make a motion for here, or should I just?
Correct. If you want to go ahead.
I'm getting clarity from.
Commissioner Pereira, if you would allow us to consult with our attorney, I do believe that because that's not an agendized part of it, we can't just make a motion on that. But if it's something that you want to bring forward at the next meeting as one of your reports that you'd like the commission to review, then you're more than welcome to do that for the January meeting.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Those are all my questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Goransky.
Yes, I have a couple questions here. What if Mr. Morse, okay, and the commissioners here do not agree? How do we handle that one then? Who pulls
Vote.
rank, you or us?
It's a vote,
Just go by a vote?
majority vote.
Okay. And then another one, when this, Commissioner, the gentleman on the end, Romeo, Perez, I'm sorry, excuse me. He mentioned something about the cases, how far back we go or something, or anything before 25. How far back would we, as the new commission here, go back? Would it just be for 2025 or cases before that that haven't been settled or what?
Well,
Which cases would we be, would it be administered to us to go over? Do we go beyond 2025 or just 2025?
Well, so there's that 1-year window within which a complaint must be investigated and discipline imposed.
Okay, you said
So anything prior to 2025 is already pretty much past that window.
Oh, okay.
I think what Commissioner Perea was asking for is data on complaints filed prior to 2025, just to know sort of the landscape of complaints filed, get a totality of the entirety of complaints filed with the Police Commission
Okay.
in terms of types of complaints.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Vega.
So let's say that we meet and discuss the 8 complaints and we come to a consensus on what to do with them. What, if any, feedback can we give to the people who filed these complaints? For example, let's say that we decided that 4 of them we're not going to look at. Are those 4 individuals going to be notified that we're not taking their complaints?
Whenever the Police Commission receives a complaint, I provide a response by email, which essentially says that if the commission will move forward on investigating a complaint, they'll be informed.
And so when we start investigating in closed session and we come to a conclusion, what our belief is with the complaint, will the public be made aware of that, of those results, whether we believe that there was wrongdoing or not?
Not necessarily. I can produce sort of sanitized reports that includes statistical data on how many complaints the commission investigated and the outcomes, without going into details regarding officer names and other identifying information, because that information is still confidential. Now, under PC 832.7, certain files can be requested by a Public Records Act request and can be made public that way. But the commission would not necessarily be making public the outcomes of specific individual complaints.
Yeah, and the only reason why I asked is it isn't so much about the case itself, but the whole point is to bring transparency and trust back to the community, right? And let's say, hypothetically speaking, the majority of the complaints find that the officer is not doing something wrong. I think the public should be made aware of that, like, okay, look, we are looking into this, and look, our department is actually following procedure, because the majority of them, we're finding out that the complaint was not sustained, and the opposite as well. The majority of the complaints are sustained. There's an issue with our police department.
Right, so I think an annual report could state the number of complaints that the police oversight director investigated, and of those which were sustained and which were not.
Great, thank you.
Well, since I skipped myself last time again, I'm going to ask some questions. What effect will AB 847 have on our ordinance, if any?
It doesn't affect the ordinance. I think it provides greater clarity as to what information the Police Commission can access, because what we've seen in other jurisdictions, and we've seen this in LA County, is that despite an ordinance, a law enforcement agency may not comply with that ordinance if they feel that it conflicts with other state law. So AB 847 clarifies what information this commission can access regarding an officer's personnel records. But it doesn't expand the city ordinance, right? So you're still restricted to investigating those 10 categories of complaints. The law doesn't give you greater authority. It just clarifies that authority that you have.
Understood. And to tie in with that, I understand the ordinance is still with the city council. Has there been any movement on that? And my concern is we start this process, things get changed, and now we have to stop because of issues with the POC or legal issues or what have you.
At the moment, there has been no movement.
Okay, so there's the possibility that things could come to a halt because of conflicts with the new ordinance and legal issues or what have you?
So just based on some of the legal issues, one of the things that this new law does is it's something that I think City of LA was being sued on because that LA County. And so now at least the city has that protection to know that if we share something with you, we won't be subject to that specific type of litigation.
Thank you. Commissioner Said? No questions. Commissioner Pereira, you good? Oh, thank you. All righty. I think that concludes our business calendar. So, Deputy City Manager, any comments?
Chair, Commissioners, it has been a pleasure to work with you this year. We'll looking forward to next year and the progress that this commission is making. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Any other staff?
Today, I'm sorry. The police department, today our Chief of Police, Raul Rodriguez, swore in 3 new officers who will be hitting their field training program here, starting right before the holidays. So they're going to get the full benefit of being a police officer and working through the holidays. And then we have several more in the pipeline to go through the academy. So it's looking very promising as we go into 2026 and getting some new folks hired. We did have our Pancakes with Santa last weekend, and it was attended probably by well over 1,000 people, and it was a fantastic morning. Kids took pictures with Santa, stuff like that. So we're just closing out the year with all our Christmas festivities at the police department, and thank you all.
Thank you. Commissioner Gronsky.
Yes, thank you very much. Tonight was very informative, as are all the other nights, but it seems like we're finally making progress. I hope that we'll be getting to work and getting busy in January, come January. I too want to wish everybody here a Merry Christmas, if that's what you celebrate, okay? Or whatever you may celebrate, have a good time. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Commissioner Vega.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's, everyone.
Thank you. Commissioner Syed.
I want to say thank you so much to everyone in here. I think we've made a lot of progress this year compared to 2024, and I guess even parts of 2023. That would not have happened but for your patience and hard work. To everyone in here, including us as commissioners. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. I am going to travel again this year out of the country. I think it's a great time to explore, learn about other cultures. So if you're able to do that, definitely do it. And I will be back before our next meeting. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Commissioner Pereira.
Thank you to staff, Director Morse, Deputy City Manager, to everyone. I'm really happy about the progress that we're making. I feel like we have done a lot of legwork this year to get us on good footing for January. So this is great. And other than that, happy holidays and happy New Year, y'all.
Thank you. Yes, I would like to again thank everybody for what they've done, and I'm glad to see that we're finally moving ahead and hearing some cases, which I think is what the public has long been waiting for. Thanks for all the hard work from everybody. I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas and God bless America. Thank you. I'm sorry. We're going to call the meeting at 6:21.